This is a story about people who stand to lose everything. People who may need to flee their native home and never come back. These people are refugees, but they're not running from war or an oppressive government. They're seeking asylum from climate change.
Then the people that are going to be most and earliest affected by processes and events also have the highest vulnerability because of weak civil society and weak states and authoritarian states, so that we know that in reality most of the people that the prognoses say there could be X amount of hundreds of millions of people displaced, this is where the double jeopardy thing comes in. They're actually going to be trapped because they have the least capacity to move. If we think of like the international, this is like a project that I am working on now. If you think of the UN humanitarian system as in terms of systems theory, it has a carrying capacity, right? It has like a maximum capacity and maximum thresholds. And if you have, a lot of positive feedbacks into a system, like more and more crises and more migrants and more pressure on the system, then the system could collapse.
Some climate scientists predict that by the end of the century, places like Miami, Amsterdam, Hamburg, or Lisbon could be affected by rising sea levels too. If this becomes a reality, it won't only impact these areas environmentally, but culturally and politically as well. The struggle for resources, land, food, and fresh water may cause local and global conflicts. It's clear that is the greatest issue that we will be facing soon.
So we started some 15 years ago by looking at one company. And we then expanded that project to include 90 oil, gas, and coal companies and a few cement companies. And the history of those 90 carbon majors, as they're called, ended up being responsible for 65% of total global emissions of carbon dioxide since the 1750s. So that's where we started. So we've been able to apportion, for example, the amount of sea level rise over the past 100 years to each of these companies' carbon in the products they have extracted and sold. I'm looking forward to the day when corporations take full responsibility for their products and their behavior in society. They need to become real players in defense of a livable Earth.